James, Casey, and Charles. Thank you. It is tradition for me to welcome everyone here, but I want to acknowledge someone who is not here with us tonight. Kristine's mother, Kimberly. Kim passed away when Chrissy was 9, Carrie was 7, April was just over 5.5. You girls were the joy of her life. You were the sparkle in her eyes. I do not have the words to describe how proud she would be of you three and how happy she would be tonight. We miss her dearly and always. Friday, September 13th, 2003. That was a very important day for Kristine and I. The day before, on Thursday, Hurricane Isabel came ashore in the Outer Banks. Now, Isabel was the Katrina of 2003. It was a Category 5 storm, and when it came ashore, it was a Category 2. And it made a beeline for western Pennsylvania and Ohio. Well, that morning, that Friday morning, was the day I was taking Kristine to college. And we didn't cancel our plans because of the weather. We left about 5 in the morning, and it poured. It was sheets of rain, hour after hour, for the entire trip. I remember that well. But the weather wasn't the only reason there was so much nervous tension for Chrissy and I. Chrissy was barely 18 years old. She was going to college 200 miles away in a different state to a place that she knew absolutely no one. She was so scared, and I was worried for her. I had planned to use this trip as a good parenting opportunity. I had many lectures planned. And I didn't let the weather or Kristine's fragile condition stop me. During that trip, I talked about the importance of education and time management skills, preparation, discipline, and individual accountability. And I didn't know it at the time, but I learned after that, and I do now. Kristine was listening, and you aced it, honey. Every lecture, every lesson that I had. It must have been a good omen because a few miles outside of Columbus, the rain stopped. I think it was out by Reynoldsburg. And that was a good thing because we spent an exhausting day moving her things into her dorm room and unpacking. And then we went shopping and bought textbooks and t-shirts. And as the day grew longer and older, the inevitable was coming and I had to leave. And it was so apparent that both Chrissy and I were trying to find ways to delay my leaving. Everything we could think of. But finally the time was up and I had to leave. And how painful that experience was. It was gut-wrenching to leave. My trip home was the most difficult, agony-filled ride I ever had. My emotions were all over the place. I was really happy for Kristine for starting this great phase of your life, but I also understood the reality of the situation, that this was a huge change for me and our family. After her mother passed away as the oldest child, Chrissy had to assume much more responsibility and burden around the house and for the family. She had to grow up much faster than normal. I cannot fully describe how helpful Chrissy was to me throughout the years. I rarely had to ask her to do something. If she saw that something had to be done, she just did it. I asked her, how many kids or teenagers do that? Chrissy did. I don't actually remember driving home. I just all of a sudden wound up in my driveway. And I remember thinking when I got there, well, Chrissy will be home soon. Okay, she'll be coming home to visit and for holidays. But for all intents and purposes, Chrissy never came home. You see, after she graduated, when she arrived in Columbus, she established some roots. And the roots continued to grow as each school year passed. When she graduated, she found work here in Columbus doing what she wanted to do. And during that time, she met a man who is now her husband. That journey that Kristine and I took, that started on that miserable Friday in 2003, has come full circle, and it's finished. And today, Chrissy, you begin a new journey with a new man. I love you, Kristine. I'm very proud of you, and I'm happy for you. Mark, welcome to the family, and good luck. I wish you both the very best, and I hope you have a long and happy journey together. Everyone join me in saluting my daughter and her husband. Salute. And now, I'll give this to Matt.